Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Friday the 27th of December 2024, the year of 1 million transactions per second or more. Experience the best of both worlds today at betbitcoinsv.com, the best casino and sports betting on chain. Have a little flutter in private using the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin, right? Let's see what we got in store for us today. I made it onto one of Tufty's tweets. Loving that. Found a video of Tufty's brother talking about the New World Order and the shit show that they're literally trying to create, which is why they'll support BTC. We'll go through a little bit of Bitcoin history because it's getting juicy, and then we'll just go through the figures as we normally do, and then we'll get to the end of the show, and that'll be it. Right, let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the Terra node, you'll surely see.
Right, check it out. So I have never had any communication with this guy whatsoever, but I made it into one of his. I got a mention in one of his tweets, an honor. So he said here, this is a Tufty the cat. He said, "I've been thinking about what is it that makes BSV right supporters so deeply unpleasant." Well, I've never spoken to this guy in my life, and he's already calling me unpleasant. "Especially recently, and more particularly to me. It's not just that they have limited thinking skills," oh, well, that's a nice thing to say, "and can't see obvious truths that the rest of us can." What, you mean like seeing through the lies? Although that is certainly a part of it, it's also not just that they're not nearly as clever as they think they are. So he thinks he's clever. Although that is also part of it. A major factor seems to be an ability to shamelessly lie. There we go again. Accuse others of that what you do yourself. Lie in their quite deliberate and obvious malicious attempts to denigrate what they consider to be their enemies. And again, this is what they're doing, like their enemies. The main characters like Favol, Watuk, that's Kurt, Swan, Gillies, Truth Machine, Satoshi, hey, check it out, that's me, got an honourable mention. Pitts and Mail, so now he's like turning against Gavin. And of course the ringleader, Right, oh dear, he's bitter. All clearly have these features in common. It is just because they think the ends, i.e. the obvious untruths of Right being Satoshi and or BSV being the real Bitcoin, or being Bitcoin being believed, justifies the means, or is it something else? Right, well, let's just go through this. I love breaking this down, honestly. Just like the lie, honestly, it's so obvious when you know somebody is part of, the sort of Zionist one world government conspiracy that lives by the Chatham House rules and all this kind of stuff. They can literally lie through the teeth, and they're allowed to do it and get away with it because their belief and their what they would say is their oath to God, which we all know is Satan. Trumps everything else. And Satan allows them to get away with this. So let's have a look at this. Look, I've been thinking about what it is that makes BSV right supporters so deeply unpleasant. Well, unpleasant to what? Shitcoiners? The fact that they are committing securities fraud on everybody, as in case law defined by SEC versus WJ Howico 1946. The fact that we know that they've removed the signatures from the transaction data. We know they've purposely kept the block size small so that not everybody can use it, so therefore it can be manipulated by this lot. Is that what makes it unpleasant? Because actually, I know why he's saying it's unpleasant, because we can see through the shit that he's talking about. That's why he finds it unpleasant. Oh, you're not going to believe the shit I'm talking. No, I'm not, because you're talking shit. And I can see it, and I'm not a fucking idiot. Won't say the word. Especially recently, and more particularly to me. Well, yeah, because you're a dickhead. It's not just they have limited thinking skills, really, and can't see obvious truths that the rest of us can. You can see truths. What truths is that? Do you want to? Can you actually name a truth? Is there a truth? Do you know who Satoshi Nakamoto is? Are you naming anybody? Because if you're saying that it's not Craig Wright, then that means you have to nominate somebody else to come forward. You can't just say, oh, it's not him. Well, who is it then if it's not him? So you're saying it's definitely not him. So who is it definitely then? You have to put they didn't even offer somebody else, and they're not gonna. So therefore that's you can discount that completely discredits this entire post here anyway. I said, although that is certainly part of it, it's also not just that. It's also not just that they are not clearly as clever as they think they are. So he obviously thinks he's clever, although that is also part of it, right? So he thinks that we're clever. A major factor seems to be an ability to shamelessly lie in their quite deliberate and obviously malicious attempts to denigrate what they consider to be their enemies. No, we haven't got any enemies. We're in search of the truth. You are a liar. And we know you're a liar by saying that, oh, we don't really know who Craig Wright is. Oh, he's just an egomaniac. No, oh, so why is Craig saying that he's Satoshi? And why is he going through all this shit? You know, how come he won the climbing case? How come he was offered how come he granted by default the copyright judgment of the white paper? Because nobody else came up to defend it, because no one's got a claim on it. How come all these literally, Gavin Andreasen, John Matonis, Joseph Van Perling, Ian Grigg, literally the earliest users of Bitcoin, how come they're all pointing their fingers at Craig? Any mention there? No, obviously not, you know. The main characters like Favell, Alex is first, check that out. Wattock, Swan, Gillies, Truth, Satoshi Pitts, Mail, more recently, and of course the ringleader Wright, all clearly have these features in common. What features? The fact that we seem to dislike our enemies. We haven't got any enemies. We've got liars, and we're calling you out. That's all it is. And you don't like that. You think, oh, it's unpleasant, you're calling out my lies. Do one. It's just because they think the ends, i.e. the obvious untruths. So again, they're calling it untruths. Name a lie. Tell us one lie that we've said. That's what I would say. Give us an example of a lie. You know, but you can't give us a single one. Everything I've said I can back up with facts, historical facts, which he just, oh, you're being unpleasant. I mean, that's what these people do. Of Wright being Satoshi and or BSV being the real Bitcoin, does it justify the means of something else? So again, you know, unless I found a video of somebody that looks like it could be his brother talking exactly this shit. Let's have a listen.
Every new reality means a total loss of the reality that came before it, referring to the coming of Mashiach and the new world order that comes with it. Okay? In other words, for what is coming, what is has to be unrecognizable. Nothing can remain. None of the world systems can remain. Nothing will remain because it's rotten to the core. Someone has to completely destroy this world and its system before the new one comes in. You want your one world government? So does God. No problem.
I don't want a one world government, and I don't really want to worship their God either, because he's Satan. And we all know what happens when you worship Satan. Like, none of it, honestly, they're absolutely delusional. You know, a one world dictatorship. What? Well, how many of you are in your organization? Right, and so now you're all going to just bow down to like one God, are you? So you're going to, you know, give up your own freedoms. Oh, nice one. Yeah, really good choice you made there. Idiots. 365 days of Bitcoin history. Let's get into this. On the 27th of December 2008, Wright wrote to, this is David Kleiman, he said, my wife will not be happy, but I'm going back to work, that I'm not going back to work. I need time to get my idea going. And that was in Andrew Hagen's book. So look at this one. What was it called again? It wasn't The Search for Satoshi. The Satoshi Affair. That's what it was. Also on the 27th of December 2014, Mastering Bitcoin by Andreas Antonopoulos was first published. Despite being fundamentally incorrect, Andreas Antonopoulos also backtracked on his own ideas about what Bitcoin could be used for. Oh, honestly, I think I might have this on a YouTube video that we'll have a listen to.
Is the monetary policy of...
Here we go. Let's play this.
Is the monetary policy of Bitcoin conducive to it being a medium of exchange? Because I'm sure you guys are aware, a lot of people will say, oh, I don't want to use Bitcoin to buy coffee, because then a year or two from now, I'll realize that I had bought myself $100 cup of coffee. So I wondered, do you think that we'll see it being used more and more as a store of value and not really see the medium of exchange use gain adoption?
We need to stop thinking about buying a cup of coffee as the primary activity of a medium of exchange. And it's probably the worst example to use, and I'm totally guilty. This is the number one example in my book. and it was obsolete the moment I wrote it.
Look at that. He says it's obsolete the moment he wrote it. Oh, what a liar. An absolute liar. And let's see what this one is.
By the way, this is the number one question I get for the past 8 years. All I've been doing is answering questions about Bitcoin. The most common question I get is, what happens in 140 years when block subsidy stops? And the answer, the most important part of this answer is, it doesn't happen in 140 years. It happens today. The question is, are fees enough today to maintain the current level of security we need today in ratio to block subsidy? And given the hash rate today, the answer the miners have given us is yes, resoundingly yes. So then we look at tomorrow. And so over time, though, this may lead to moments where you have very, very expensive transactions.
See, look at that. He didn't answer the question.
By the way, this is the number one.
He didn't answer the question. He didn't answer the question because there isn't an answer to it. And he knows it. And like Laura Shin didn't really have the intellectual capacity to push him on it. Absolutely outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. But check this out. So on the 27th of December, this was last year, a Korean newspaper published an article titled "Satoshi Controversy Ignited Again, Trial of the Century." The BSV price rallied from $47 to a high of $75 just on the news. How crazy is that? You know, literally anything can pop the price because the supply is so restricted. It's crazy. Right, okay, let's 10 minutes gone. Let's have a quick look. It's gone up to $54. Great coin, shitcoin, Segwit coin, Cabal coin. At 94,354. And remember, hash rate, network nodes are vanity, transactions and block size are sanity. So have a look at the blocks coming through. Still good at 285, 233, 395. All right. I mean, look at that. I mean, we've got Grey Coin at 1 megabyte. B crash, no blocks over a megabyte. And Fish Price Gas still can't get all the blocks over a kilobyte. 49,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Grey Coin. Mining Bitcoin at a 26.4% comparable loss. Loving all these charts. Look at that. Bitcoin still sub-cent fees and at 1 Satoshi transactions. Amazing. Let's have a look at I've seen these. All right. Let's have a look at the transaction volume. We're at 25 million over the last 24 hours. Representing 90.6% of the market, so you just got 10% for the 39,000 shitcoins to fit in that. Yep, confirmed that on Watson Chain, 25 million transactions. Let's have a look at the mining. Coov, let's see, look, a Coov 39.01. A QD Link taking second place, 26.24. And equaling Tau dropped down to third, and Gorilla Pool 8.51 increasing. See, we should be seeing the hash rate increasing, really. It looks like competition is taking place, but we don't ever really get to see it. Let's just have a quick look. Yeah, it looks like there's competition going on, but you don't really see too much there. Let's have a look at the tether weather. Let's see what's going on. All right, just plodding along there. That'll be why the price isn't rallying at all. Let's have a look at Bitcoin here. So we're at 52.85. Let's have a look on the full chart. Yeah. Upsy downsy. Let's have a look at Bitcoin versus Greg Coin. Oh. Yeah. Just trending down these last couple of days. Yeah, up and down. Let's have a look at this versus USD. What? Alright, just dropping off a bit there. Let's have a look. Whoa! What's happened here? Orange Gateway, what? What was that? Red candle straight down, what? That's hilarious. Really? Alright, the Senate's just dropped off a cliff there compared to USD. Overall market, $3.2 trillion. Got Greg coin at $94,000. Just trade volume, just 48 billion. Just representing 2.61% of the overall market cap there. Looks like the market's sort of down today. Let's have a quick look at Bitcoin. Where are we? In like number 88. Trying to push it off the charts really. Oh, down to 90. Look at that. Look at that. Into the 90s. They're trying to push it down. Literally just trying to bury this thing. And this has got 90% of the overall market's transaction volume on its network. Absolutely insane. Right, there we go. That's a 15-minute show. We'll leave you there. Hope you enjoyed it. So as ever, if you enjoyed these updates, please ding your donations for your appreciation to either Satoshi at Semi.com, handcash.io, simply.cash, Brelaser.com, rockwallet.me or senti.ch. We'll leave you there. Hope you enjoyed it. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.